on WMUN 92.5 FM, 1340 AM, and the Gainbridge Ball State Cardinals Sports Network. Welcome to This Week in Ball State Sports, highlighting the Cardinal teams, administration, alumni, and community. Now here's the voice of the Cardinals, your host, Mick Tidrow.
This Week in Ball State Sports. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Week 5 already of This Week in Ball State Sports here on WMUN. Special thank you to today's producer, Steve Lindell, across the hallway, helping us out. And our first guest, Director of Athletics, Jeff Mitchell, in studio with us. We'll have Ball State women's basketball head coach Brady Sallee join us as well as Ball State men's basketball, Michael Lewis, also on the show today as well. Jeff, a lot of hoops conversation, but thanks for joining us first and foremost.
Well, thank you, Mick. It's always a pleasure to be here.
It's a good time to talk Ball State athletics. There's no football game this week, but there's still plenty taking place across Ball State athletics, Jeff. And I kind of wanted to start off with something big that's happening next week. Ball State Athletics Hall of Fame ceremony. We're inducting 5 individuals, 1 team as a whole. It's that time of year where we can have a chance to celebrate some of our past greats.
Yeah, it's a really exciting time. We look forward to this every year because we've got such a great tradition of athletic excellence at Ball State, and this year's class is no different, represents a variety of sports. You've got Tamika Borders from track and field, and Jenna Haig from women's golf, Tyler Merkel from men's golf, Ray Leonard from men's tennis, Willie Sneed from football, and then the team that we're celebrating is the 1995 men's volleyball team. So we've got quite the decorated Hall of Fame class for this year.
You do. There's one athlete was a 10-time MAC Player of the Week honoree, which is incredible. For 4-time first-team All-MAC in the case of Ray Leonard for men's tennis. Willie Sneed has single-season records all over the place for Ball State football. It's a decorated class, and that ceremony taking place on Friday, October 3rd, and then they'll be recognized at the October 4th football game against Ohio.
That's right. So we look forward to celebrating them in a small ceremony on Friday evening, the 3rd of October, and then, of course, they will be paraded on the football field for our fans to celebrate them during the game on October 4th as we open MAC play against Ohio.
Jeff, you've been around now for a couple of years here at Ball State. Whenever you attend a Ball State Hall of Fame ceremony, what is that overall experience like for you to see athletes, coaches, players inducted with their family and friends all in one day?
Well, I shouldn't be surprised, but I'm always struck by just the overall sense of pride that the people in the room have for Ball State. Whether it's the inductees, whether it's the people that are there to support and celebrate them, or whether it's just our staff. And the feelings that are invoked during those moments are pretty special, and you can see the type of experience that they had and feel it as they talk. Of course, Mick, you're going to MC the program and ask our inductees some questions that I'm sure will reveal some interesting stories from the student-athletes' lives at Ball State. But I'm excited to meet them. I don't believe that I've met any of them in person. Certainly I know their names and have read about their accomplishments, and really excited for them to come back to Ball State and to be celebrated, but also to see, if they haven't been on campus for a while, to see the transformations that have happened on campus, and to feel connected again to Ball State.
Ball State Director of Athletics Jeff Mitchell joining us here on This Week in Ball State Sports. We're live every Thursday, 9 to 9:30. Steve Lindell producing here today for us, right here on WMUN. Jeff, we talk about golf. There's 2 golfers with Tyler and Jenna being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Both golf programs right now have been in action, and they are doing exceptional work. On the men's side, their last time out, they broke 7 program records in 1 competition.
Yeah, Mike Fleck's continuing to do a great job with that program. And some breaking news this morning that I can share is that we have extended Coach Fleck. We've ironed out those details, and Coach Fleck will be the men's golf coach at Ball State for the next 4 years.
Okay.
And
breaking news.
Coach Fleck has also been around for 27 years. So this is certainly a place that he wants to be, and I really enjoy working with him, and he's done a fantastic job with our program, and our student athletes are so talented. on that team. Certainly, you just referenced the fact that we broke 7 records here in this last tournament that they won, and so I'm really excited for Coach Fleck. I'm excited for his program, and you know, we can't talk too much today about programs because we're living in a different world where we're constructing teams and rosters year over year. However, with Coach Fleck, he is certainly breaking tradition, I guess, or the new tradition as he constructs a program. And I think you'll see that celebrated when we celebrate Tyler at the Hall of Fame, but also you can just see it in what Coach Fleck is building. You know, he's top 2 in the league in the last 3 years, which is the best stretch that the program has had in almost 40 years. So congratulations to Mike Fleck. That news hit the internet about 5 minutes ago.
Oh, okay, perfect. So this is perfect timing all across the board. Congratulations, Coach Fleck. Definitely want to have him on the show and talk about that and much more. But congratulations to Coach Fleck for everything he's done. You mentioned the accomplishments. Awesome to hear that and break some news here on WMUN and the weekly show. Jeff, last conversation I want to have with you before we let you go here today is the transfer portal window in Ball State. Football, impact, all that happens. Of course, right now, as it currently stands, a couple of windows in the football transfer portal, but now there's been the recent conversations around one window at one time. What can you share about what you know there?
Yeah, and I'll share that. I also want to just take 15 seconds to talk about women's golf. So we recently extended Cam Andry as well.
Yes, we did.
and his program is doing fantastic, too. They won a recent tournament at home, and then we're on the road in Lubbock, Texas, in a competitive field, and finished in the top half. So they got in late last night. So those young ladies are getting back into their classroom mode as they put the clubs down for a couple of days. But they're playing really well, too, and we're really proud of them. From the transfer portal standpoint with football, there's now one transfer portal. The challenge is that we don't know when that will be. That hasn't been voted on yet, and that's clear as mud, Steve. Steve's laughing in the production studio. So we think it's going to be in January. We are having some conversations on campus about what that means because there's a lot of logistics.
Absolutely.
You know, when it comes to mid-semester breaks or mid-year breaks as we go from the fall semester to the spring semester and how we handle all that. So more to that, Mick, and I'm sure we'll talk about that again down the line.
We absolutely will. There's the rumors of the 2nd through the 12th of January, right after the new year, before you get to the second semester of the season. There's a lot of different conversation around when that'll actually be, but one window instead of 2 windows could simplify things. We'll see how it all shakes out from a Ball State football perspective and a transfer portal perspective in the football landscape. Well, Jeff, we always appreciate your time here on This Week in Ball State Sports. Congratulations to Coach Fleck and company. Thank you for joining us here in studio.
Please ask Michael Lewis and Brady Sallee hard-hitting questions today.
Well, only the hardest for those two. We'll make sure that we get those guys taken care of.
Thank you, Mick. Go Cards.
That's Jeff Mitchell, Director of Athletics, joining us here on This Week in Ball State Sports live in studio. Jeff said it. We'll have Brady Sallee, Michael Lewis coming up here on This Week in Ball State Sports live each week on WMUN.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our lower prices. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Behind every strong hip and knee. Behind every strong shoulder.
Good catch.
Behind every strong team is our highly skilled team of experts in orthopedics. IU Health is the official healthcare and sports medicine provider of Ball State Athletics, and we're here to keep you moving. From acute injuries to chronic pain and conditions, go where the athletes go. Walk-in appointments for new injuries are available Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can always schedule a same-day or next-day appointment and wait from the comfort of your home. Visit iuhealth.org/MuncieOrtho to learn more.
back here on This Week in Ball State Sports on WMUN 92.5 FM, 1340 AM. Thank you to Director of Athletics Jeff Mitchell for joining us live in studio moments ago. And thank you to Steve Lindell producing here today. Next up is Ball State women's basketball head coach Brady Sallee. Just took the seat in the studio. Coach, how are you on this first week of official practice for basketball?
Well, I'm going in about 600 different directions, but no, it's still this time of year for a basketball coach is like indescribable. To be honest with you, you've got the butterflies to get everything going. You've got the excitement of it. You're driving to work and your mind's going 100 different directions. This will illustrate it perfectly. This morning, I've got a little Alexa that we put music on in the morning. I attempted to turn my closet light off with Alexa, which I don't have that technology, but I got madder than a hornet when the light didn't go off. And then I'm like, well, it's basketball season, so I got to be mad at something.
You try to turn it off with your Alexa, so you have it connected of sorts.
No, it has never turned any lights off.
Oh, even better.
It just like we listen to, like I listen to everything Steve Lindell does on the radio through, those kind of platforms. And so I don't know what exactly happened there other than, I'm trying to get 9 new kids to figure out ball screen defense. And so I can't blame it on old age, so it's got to be something else.
So we need to get you the situation where you can clap and your lights turn on and off, so Alexa doesn't have to be involved.
No, that's coming for me. That's coming.
Ball State women's basketball head coach Brady Sallee joining us on This Week in Ball State Sports. You mentioned 9 new players. Mm-hmm. You had so much continuity for the last several years. What's this like for you now this year?
In a weird way, it's kind of business as usual. In a weird way, it's a little bit refreshing that I'm coaching every single situation, how to get a water break. I mean, how to line up and stretch. And, for an old ball coach, like this is what you're doing. You're coaching ball. Don't get me wrong. We were blessed with that group we just had. I mean, and I would take them for 100 more years.
You are wearing your regular season champion shirt today.
Oh, did I put that on?
You did. Accidental, huh?
Just grabbed it out of the closet, just this old rag. No, but, I've told a lot of people that group, I trusted them so much, and I really managed them. I tried to put them in the best position to win, and then really hands off and trusted. When you got players like Allie Becky and Alex Richard and Marie Kiefer and Maddie Bischoff and Lise, you just go on and on and on. Lachelle Austin, like you better get out of their way and let the talent take over. And so as much as you enjoy that and all those kind of things, there's a new challenge, and it's a big one. But we're excited about it. I like our talent out there. We just got to figure out when to go left and when to go right.
You literally had your first day of official practice yesterday. Mm-hmm. How would you describe how day one went for you in this group?
Yeah, it lots of energy. It's a loud gym. We had some people in watching, and they commented on how loud and how eagerly they were talking, which is always a good sign. I've always thought a loud gym's a winning gym. Mm-hmm. And so, yesterday it was literally 2 hours and 40 minutes of defense. I mean, that's like, it was old school. Like
that's your type of ball.
I loved it. But, you're trying to establish the culture of toughness, understanding here's where we win games. All the other stuff is great, but here's where we, win games. So, they did a great job with it. They didn't wither. They kept going. They're in good shape. Our new strength coach has done a great job with them, and they're in a good place that way. But yesterday it was real, and so I would imagine our trainer earned his money after practice, and the ice baths were cooking. So, again, that's this time of year.
Hey, Coach Brady, Sallee, Ball State Women's Basketball live in studio with us here on This Week in Ball State Sports. Each week, 9 to 9:30 a.m. right here on WMUN. Special thank you to Steve Lindell for taking over the producer's chair here today.
The governor.
Absolutely. What doesn't Steve Lindell do?
I mean, like I get nervous if he walks in Worthing because I think, well, he's going to take a whistle and do my job too because he does everything else. So we're blessed to have him in this community. I know that. So
that we are.
Yeah.
That we are. Thanks for all you do, Steve, especially joining us last minute here as a producer. Coach, when you're breaking down a recruiting standpoint and you've got to fill so many gaps with a new team like you did this year, is there any one particular path you want to take, or is it we're going after what we think are the best players no matter where they live, no matter how they play basketball?
Well, first, I'm blessed to have Audrey Spencer on my staff. My associate head coach. She really took the challenge and ran with it and did a tremendous job. And what we talked about was first and foremost, we wanted talent, regardless of where they were from, what year they were, all that other stuff. They had to fit the culture. They had to be able to play the way we wanted to play. But I feel like we just knocked it out of the park, honestly. We took 3 transfers, 2 of them from 4-year schools, 1 of them from a juke, and I think we hit on all of them. Bree Sallenbein from Gonzaga she's a heck of a player. I mean, 6'2", 6'3", guard, like she can boogie. And then Carson Norman has got some big shoes to fill, with Allie Becky going out as, I feel like a 10-year point guard in this program. But Carson wanted that challenge. She wanted a different system where she could kind of flourish a little bit. And I think she's found it. So we feel good about those transfers. But then, it just kind of fell the way it fell. And we brought in all these first-year kids. It's hard to call them all freshmen because some of them had gap years over in Europe, and a very big European flair, but like so talented. I mean, just that's the thing. I think this group coming in, the talent level is really off the charts, and it's as good, as talented as we were in that group that just left. I would put this talent with it. It's just the knowledge isn't there yet. And so that's the fun part of it. But, we crisscrossed Europe and we found some really, really talented kids that are here because of what our program brings to the table as well. So we recruited in some tall cotton, and we got some really good players out of it.
Head Coach Brady Sallee, Ball State Women's Basketball, joining us here on This Week in Ball State Sports. Coach, always appreciate you taking some time joining us. Let's get your Alexa fixed so you can turn off some lights.
Well, I was coming here thinking this was a karaoke show, but, I'd warmed up the vocals on the way, but, we'll see. But just glad we're doing this and glad to be here. So thanks, everybody, and we're looking forward to seeing more than Pack this year.
Absolutely. We'll get you and Steve on a talk show, and we'll let you karaoke as well.
I don't see why not.
That's Head Coach Brady Sallee joining us in studio on This Week in Ball State Sports. Head Coach Michael Lewis joins us next in a pre-recorded conversation.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our lower prices. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Behind every strong hip and knee. Behind every strong shoulder.
Good catch.
Behind every strong team is our highly skilled team of experts in orthopedics. IU Health is the official healthcare and sports medicine provider of Ball State Athletics, and we're here to keep you moving. From acute injuries to chronic pain and conditions, go where the athletes go. Walk-in appointments for new injuries are available Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can always schedule a same-day or next-day appointment and wait from the comfort of your home. Visit iuhealth.org/MuncieOrtho to learn more.
back inside This Week in Ball State Sports on another Thursday morning, and today we have head coach Michael Lewis of Ball State men's basketball. Media days in the books, Coach. You have a chance to sit down and digest what your team looks like. You got basketball in a month of the exhibition. Like, what's going through your head right now?
Well, I hope we look different a month from now than we do right now. Now, I say that after I was very pleased with our first practice, and even our second one was solid. You know, not bad, very solid. I think we have, a solid foundation for what we want to do. We just got to be able to grow in every aspect, and these guys have been pretty good at showing up every day and trying to do what we're asking them to do. And like you're breaking old habits, creating new ones, and those things take time. But this is a very willing group to do that, and there's some things we gotta increase our communication, and that's just a part of the growing process. Each individual's got to learn where they're supposed to be and when, and then the next step is actually communicating that so everybody else knows what the hell you're doing. But I think our communication can get better. I think our physicality on both ends of the floor can get better. But it's an exciting time. It is for everybody. Everybody's happy this time of year because you're 0-0.
You mentioned it, first week of practice this week. What was it like to get this group prepared for that first week of practice, coming off of the summer workouts that you had? Yeah,
it's different now because you have all that access. You have 8 weeks with them during the summer, and like, how do you spend that? Like, is it? I think it's different than when I was an assistant coach, and maybe even different than my first year. Like, because you used to spend the summertime with a lot of individual development, and that's something that I've always prided myself in as a coach. I think the programs that I've been a part of have always taken great pride in that. Guys have gotten better over time. We didn't necessarily outside of UCLA, we didn't recruit pros. You recruited prospects, and we had several guys that turned into pros through that development. And then at UCLA, we recruited a couple pros, and then we developed a couple pros. And you take pride in that stuff. Now a lot of the summertime, like, hey, we better get these guys together and try to become a team, and something that can operate like a team, very quickly. So do you sacrifice some of that individual development? So we're trying to do a little bit of both, but we've been together since June. We had 8 weeks, took a couple weeks off. Those guys come back, and then practice gets moved up every year. It used to be October 15th. Now it's September 22nd. And, just because of the way the schedule is and the mandatory days off, you get two good days in, and, we got to take a day off. It's probably best for the guys and, their bodies and different things in recovery. But, you as a coach, you just, all right, you only got 28 more practices before your first game, and you have a laundry list of things that you got to get in, and it can be a little bit overwhelming. But we're trying to take the approach of just trying to be good at a couple things instead of average at a lot.
I mean, yeah, you got an exhibition game on the road in about a month.
And we set that up. Like, we're going on the road for both. Yeah. I apologize to the community that they're not going to be able to see us before our first game here in Worthen Arena, but Fort Wayne's not a long drive if you need to scratch that itch. But I want to take these guys on the road. One of them's a close scrimmage, and then one going on the road and competing against Fort Wayne in an exhibition game. And how John and I decided to set that game up. We're still working out some of the details on that, because we want to make sure, like, that it benefits both programs. Like, what he's trying to get out of it may be different than what I'm trying to get out of it. Just where are we at that point as we're ultimately preparing to tip off November 3rd.
Coach, you have a couple new coaches on staff with Scott and John. How have you seen those two come in and ingrain themselves in Muncie?
Yeah, they've been really good. I think both come with a lot of experience. Both have prior head coaching experience at different levels. Scott's from Indiana. He understands what basketball means in this state. He comes from a very successful program at James Madison, so I'll be able to get him here is great. Was successful at Moorhead. John's won as a head coach and his connections, and I take pride in what guys have done when they've moved on from our program. I've been here 3 years as a head coach. We've got 2 assistants now in the Big 12. As a head coach, I take pride in that. I worked, that's how it was when I worked for guys. They took pride in moving guys along in their careers, and I feel very fortunate that we've been able to replace those guys with quality people.
What is your favorite part of how this roster is constructed this year?
Right now, just like how they handle their business. They're not, you heard me in the press conference, like they're not, I'm sure they do occasionally, but, every time they walk in Worthing Arena, they're not tweeting about it or broadcasting about it or have a film crew behind them. Like they kind of go about their work, put their head down and do it. And, is it great every day? No. But we've had more good days than bad. And like I said, they've given us an effort, and they're trying to do what we're asking them to do, and that's really about all you can ask.
Head Coach Michael Lewis joining us on This Week in Ball State Sports. First official week of practice of the men's basketball season, and play tips off November 3rd inside Worthing after the exhibition matchups. Coach, when you look at the roster right now, and you talked about it in the press conference a little bit, you have a lot of guards, not as many bigs as you want. How do you think that does play an advantage to what you guys want to do this year?
I think it's going to allow us to play faster. I think we can be more aggressive defensively. Everybody, like we say this all, we joke around as coaches, all the time. Like everybody wants to play fast until it's time to play fast, and then they realize how hard it is to play fast, right? I think just with where basketball is, how it's evolving, the ability to try to get teams. When you're playing fast, what I mean by fast, this is not running up and down the court. It's, how quickly can you play in half court? Like, can you force a defense to guard the basketball when it changes the sides of the floor multiple times? Yep. And when it changes sides of the floor, all right, now can that defense guard multiple actions? Any defense can guard one action, right? And then now a good defensive team, they can probably guard two. Like, it's the elite ones that can guard that third side of the floor, the third action. And so how quickly can you get to those and make teams guard multiple actions, whether it's a ball screen, handoff, split action, all the role replay, whatever it is, like put them in stressful situations and then be smart enough to attack appropriately. And that's when I say faster, like can you get to those actions and because you're not going to score on the first turn all the time. And to try to truly break down a defense where you're getting – an open shot and where that's coming from. And, I understand analytics. I haven't completely fallen in love where we don't shoot anything outside the circle or behind the 3-point line or inside the circle. Like I'm not, you got to be able to, against good teams, you got to be able to create an open shot and take it. And, but like how many layups, close paint shots can you create and how many, open, step in threes? Like there's a difference from taking an open step in three off a penetration or an action compared to a step away, fade away three at the end of a shot clock. So just, what are we doing to create good shots? And then on the other end, like how disruptive can we be? I think we can be much more aggressive with this lineup and this roster than we've been in the past.
You talk about creation and disruption. You brought in a lot of veteran players, whether that's players who have played at the Division I level or the JUCO ranks. How valuable is that experience to do exactly what you just mentioned?
It's huge, but you still the challenge is you bring in all these transfers and everybody's bringing in transfers. I think we got 8-9 new players. That's probably about the average. I think if you look across the country. Those people are leaving searching something, right? There's something they didn't like at their last place, so they're searching something. Can you get those guys to, while they're searching something, buy into what's needed for our program to be at our best and ultimately win games for Ball State? So while they're searching something, are they willing to make sacrifices to do what's best for Ball State? And can you bring a cohesive unit together as a team to ultimately be successful, which is what is success? You got to win, win games. But I think these guys have a maturity to them that they understand some of that. Now it's it's a challenge every day. You know, it's a challenge every day. You know, and to be able to groom these individuals into a team and doing what we feel like it takes to win at this level. And so, but I do like their maturity, their experience, where they've been. We've got some guys that have been in some programs where they've been coached, and they have a pretty good understanding of what, programs are supposed to look like. Caden Fish, although didn't play a lot, he's been to the NCAA tournament. All right, Armani Ziegler, been to the NCAA tournament. Like, those guys understand what it takes to be successful.
Coach, appreciate you always. Happy first week of practices. We'll talk with you soon.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's head coach Michael Lewis, Ball State men's basketball, wrapping up this week in Ball State sports.